Modern Man tutorials. Men are responsible for late relationships. So if a relationship fails, that's on you guys. Because somebody has to be responsible, right? And it makes sense that the person who's most logical, or the gender that's most logical, leans towards logic the most, should be the one that should be in charge of something that requires structure, something that requires rules and order, right? Just like a business, just like a job, right? There's a hierarchy, there's the boss, there's the employees, right? Same goes for a relationship. A relationship is just like a job. The rules apply the same at work that it does at home, right? That does in a relationship, right? So you got the dad, right? The man, he's the boss, and then you got his second in command, which is his girlfriend or wife. Then you got if y'all got kids, and they're they're employees, right? They're interns or whatever you want to call it. You get the idea. So it's kind of like a business structure. There's a hierarchy, the top all the way down to the bottom, and somebody has to be in the number one spot, right? In the leadership role, someone has to be in the secondary role, and somebody has to be in the third role, and the fourth, and so forth and so forth. So the way it normally goes is it's the man, the woman, the son, and then the daughter, and that's the order of the hierarchy. So it's boy, girl, right? Boys first, girls second, in the order of a relationship, and it works. Some people tried it the other way. Girl, boy, girl, boy. Some people tried it just girl, boy, boy, right? But regardless, and then of course there's the age, from oldest to youngest, and that's the thing. Most guys, most relationships where there's a man and a woman, the man tends to be older. So by order of age, then of course he's one, she's two, because he's older, she's younger. So with and of course with age comes usually more experience, more wisdom, right? You've learned right from wrong, and applied that knowledge more often than anyone younger than you. Then it's your job as the older person to pass down your wisdom and knowledge to the next person, right? To those who are younger than you, and that will be your wife or girlfriend, right? And that will be your children, right? And then of course it's her job to do the same, right? So it goes down, right? You teach her, she teaches the kids teach their kids, in the near future, right? Just like the husband looks out for the mom and the son looks out for his sister, right? That's the order. So it's very important to know the order, right? To know who's doing what, right? And that's where the gender roles come in, because some people are better equipped. Certain genders are better equipped for certain situations. For more social situations, the female is better equipped. For more physical, more survival-based situations, like more nature-based situations, the guy is more equipped, because he's gonna more likely be bigger, stronger, more capable of building things or doing things. When it comes to hunting and stuff like that, he's more likely, willing to do the killing, right? The hunting, more so than the female would. And of course there's always exceptions, but the exception doesn't erase the majority, right? The minority doesn't outnumber the majority. So on average, in general, guys are better suited for the leadership position, which is why they've always been in the leadership position and has worked for a lot. The only time it doesn't work is usually when no one's leading, when a guy doesn't want to be the leader, when he wants to sit on his ass and do nothing and let women do everything. That tends to not work out so well, largely because the women don't want to be in that situation. It's like, no, you're the man, you do the man stuff. funny thing is, the gender role thing was always uh, um, enforced by the female gender. It wasn't forced by the male gender. It was always forced by the female gender. Because y'all the ones who insist that we gotta be strong to lift things. We gotta be taller, right? We gotta be smarter. We gotta do things. You know, there's always a complaint. Though, if you look at old movies, old TV shows, just pay attention to the world around you, you always see it that it's the female gender that's constantly expecting things, telling guys to do things. Females are the main ones that be telling guys that they need to man up, they need to act like a man, they need to toughen up, they need to deal with things. Right? They can't, you know, because they compare the guys to themselves, and they're like, no, you need to be better than me. If something happens and I start crying, you better not be crying too. You better do something about the situation. Fix it. If something breaks, I expect you to fix it. So this whole idea that it's guys being harsh on guys and expecting guys to control their emotions and this, that, and and telling guys to man up is like, no, we do say it to each other, because it's not that we're the ones, you know, insisting on this idea. No, we're the ones reminding guys, like, remember, you gotta man up, you gotta control your emotions, because if not, your emotions will control you. And not only that, someone else will control you through your emotions, aka a female. So if you don't want to be controlled by anybody or by your emotions, control your emotions. Use your logic. Make better decisions. Don't make decisions based off of your feelings. Make decisions based off of common sense, logic, based off of life experience. If you know how to do something right, do it. Don't be emotional and try to do something different just because you feel like you should do something different. No, do things the way you know how to do things. Don't change, you know, don't change what you're good at because of feelings, especially not because of somebody else's feelings. You know, do things because it's the right thing to do, not because somebody else feels like that's what you should do. Right? So, like I said, it's the female gender that expects guys to do a lot of things. We are very simple as guys. We don't expect a lot from the female gender. What we expect is very little, so then it's a big deal for us when we don't get those little things that we ask for, right? For example, sex, time, and silence. If that's all we ask for, that's not a lot to ask for. And any female can qualify and can live up to those three simple things. But when you ask a female, oh, what do you want? Oh, I want a guy who's like 10 feet tall. He needs to be able to fly. He has to have a time machine. He has to be a gajillionaire. Like all this ridiculous shit. Shit that'd be hard for any guy to, you know, to qualify, to even have. Like it'd be rare to have a guy with all that shit. But, you know, something as simple as sex, sandwich, silence, any female can meet those requirements. Even if we had extra requirements. Oh, she has to have an IQ of 200. It's like, okay, that's very specific, but okay. There should be women out there with IQ of 200 that can provide you sex, sandwich, silence. Okay, so be it. Or it's like, oh, she got to be 7 feet tall. Okay, that's not common. It's not, most females aren't that tall, but okay, maybe you'll find a woman that's 7 foot tall that can provide you sex, sandwich, silence. So at least we know 3 of the 4 things that definitely can have that extra thing you want. That's very specific, and you know, it'll be rare. But that's the thing, chicks like things that are super rare. Guys like things that are super common. Like, oh shit, you're the female gender, you have a vagina. Yay, I like you. Yeah, because every female has a vagina. Common. But chicks would be like, oh, I need a guy who's like 20 feet tall. Like, yeah, that's very rare. Like, that doesn't even exist. Maybe there was a time in human history there was a 20-foot guy, but he doesn't exist now. And what makes you think he even likes you? What makes you think you're his type? Maybe he wants a chick who's 18 foot tall. Most of you ladies aren't that tall. So, you know what I mean? So that's the difference between the female gender and the male gender. It's like we like things that we know exist and it'd be easier for us to get. So we like what exists, right? We like what we see. Like if we like chicks with red hair, okay. It's not impossible for a chick to dye her hair red or be born with red hair, right? Or let's say we like brunettes. The average hair color for females is brunette. So there you go. You're making the idea is to make it easy for you to get what you want instead of having this weird delusional like I need these requirements. I need these things. You actually don't need none of that. But that's what you want. Okay, you can want it, but doesn't mean you're gonna get it. Or even deserve it. Even if it was available. What makes you think you can get it? But whatever. That's for a different conversation. But you get the idea that as a guy, you gotta make sure that the relationship works out. You gotta have, as much control. You're supposed to have 90% control of the relationship. She has 10%. Just like she has 90% control of sex, and you only have 10. And that's the balance, right? We offer relationships. They offer sex, right? We offer them the position to be in the position, right? In the missionary position, right? So, but I know it's a lot of guys try not to give relationships but still want sex. It's like, no, that's cheating, right? That's being unfair, because it's like the way it's supposed to be is you give her relationships, she gives you her body. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? Just like a job, you give the person a paycheck, they do work. That's the way it's supposed to be. Both people have to do their part. So that's why it's important as guys, y'all have to do your part. I know there's a lot of guys out here trying to put the whole relationship thing on females, trying to say that they need to stop leaving relationships and to try to stay in relationships longer and be loyal and this, that. There's like if you have full control of the relationship, right? If you have proper control of the relationship, you make sure the relationship is so awesome that she wants to be in the relationship, she wouldn't leave. If she's leaving the relationship, it's because the relationship sucks. Just like when someone leaves a job, it's because the job sucks. No one leaves an awesome job, right? I mean, it's rare. Can it happen? Yeah, but it's very rare for someone to leave an awesome job. But most of you guys act like y'all awesome boyfriends or awesome husbands, that y'all providing awesome lives, but in reality, you're not. A lot of times you guys make the chick you're with feel like y'all just friends or roommates. Like she's just there. I'll say it this way, like sometimes a lot of you guys make ladies feel like they're just sex objects, like they're not a human being that you're in a relationship with. Y'all make them feel like they're just there for when you want sex and then that's it. Because a lot of times y'all don't want to talk to them, spend time with them, interact, be involved in whatever activities they like. Understand, you don't like certain things. That's fine. But you're in a relationship with somebody. You gotta accept the fact that they're gonna like things that you typically don't like. And it would be nice to at least you show some appreciation, that you try to like it. You try to be involved in what they're like. Because we know as guys, we love it when, our girlfriends or wives, get involved in our activities. Let's say it's sports or something, and she wears, sports shirts and stuff like that, and goes to sporting events with us and stuff. Like, it's awesome when they share our interests. We need to do the same. That's the way it works. Because they're a human being. They have feelings, remember? So you got to be able to manage their feelings, be able to manage their happiness, be able to manage, right? Because a lot of times, yes, it is on the individual person for their own happiness, but there is such thing as external happiness. There is such thing as someone else ruining your internal happiness by making you feel like shit. A chick, yes, should be happy, should be able to make herself happy, but she can lose that happiness, right? What counters it is you being a piece of shit and making her unhappy. So since you're making her unhappy, it's hard for her to make herself happy because you're too busy making her unhappy. So now you are reducing her happiness. So of course she's not gonna be happy, and of course like, you know what, I need to leave so I can be happy again, because I know how to make myself happy, but this person I'm with is making me unhappy. No. Now I'm not saying you have to make somebody happy per se, right? Because of course they should be able to make themselves happy, but you shouldn't be the reason they're not unhappy. That's what I'm saying. You shouldn't reduce their happiness, by your actions, by your words. So that's why you gotta be careful what you say, what you do. Right? You gotta keep your employee, your girlfriend, your wife happy. And the way you do that is by making sure you understand them, understand what makes them happy. If food makes your girlfriend or wife happy, make sure there's food. There shouldn't be a situation where there is no food, because she's going to be unhappy. If she's unhappy, well, don't be surprised, she wants to leave. So that's why it's up to you to make sure that she doesn't want to leave. You gotta make sure that she wants to be there. She wants to be in the relationship. She wants that she sees y'all relationship better than anyone else. Most females have a habit of bragging about their relationships with other females. Other females compete with one another on how awesome their relationship is, which means you need to make sure that you're doing your part to make sure the relationship is awesome so she can brag about it. Because if she can't brag about her relationships and all her friends are bragging about the relationship and the relationship is going good and y'all relationship is going bad, her friends as well as herself is going to look at the relationship and be like, all right, this relationship is trash, should replace his ass. And then that's why she leaves you, and then you be all butthurt that she left you, even though it was your fault that she left you. Because you were a shitty boyfriend, shitty husband. Not saying you were a terrible person, it's just you were shitty at your responsibility, which was for the relationship to be awesome, to be worthy of bragging. She can't brag about the relationship if the relationship is super dry, super boring, super vanilla, where it feels more like y'all just friends instead of husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend. You definitely don't want a situation where she's not bragging about how awesome the sex is. If she's out here telling other chicks that the sex is trash, or y'all barely have sex because it's, boring. You don't want to be in that situation. Remember, you got in a relationship so you can have sex. So for her not to be able to brag about the sex being good, you're failing at your part. You're failing at the relationship, because remember, you got with her because you want to be able to have sex. But if she's out here telling the world that the sex is trash, that's your fault. You need to fix that. You need to figure out how to make the relationships better. At least, let's say that the sex is trash. As long as the relationship in general is good, she at least has something she can brag about, and she can just, lie about the sex just because the relationship is good. And she don't want to ruin the good relationship by talking about the sex is trash, even though it is, right? But if the relationship is trash, the sex is trash, well, yeah, she's gonna tell everybody. And again, it's your fault, because you didn't make sure that the relationship is good, that she has nothing but good things to say about you. It's the same thing as a job. If the boss sucks at being a good boss, sucks at, doing their job, where everybody else is complaining about how shitty the boss is, don't be surprised that the rest of the world thinks you're shitty too, because that's what you're putting out there. You're doing a terrible job. That's the thing. As much as females have roles in a relationship, guys have a role in a relationship. And our role is to be in charge. It's just like driving a car. If you're in the driver's seat, you got to be good at driving. You got to make sure that everybody is safe. You got to make sure you're not hitting bumps in the road. You're not crashing. You're not speeding. You're not going the wrong way. You need to make sure you know what you're doing. You got to have full control of the car. She can tell you, oh, turn right, turn this way, because maybe she's helping you navigating, because she's looking at a map on her phone or something, on Google, right? And that's fine. She's helping you. She's supporting you. And that's what she's supposed to do, is support you. But you're supposed to be in control. You're supposed to be leading. You're supposed to be giving the relationship and controlling it. Just like you expect her to be giving you that guac 3000, right? She needs to know what she's doing. She needs to know how to do it right. If not, you'll have a problem with it, right? Same thing as a relationship. If she has a problem with the relationship, it's your fault. That means you're not doing your part. That means you're not controlling the relationship like you should. Females want relationships because they want someone else, I'm gonna say, they want someone else to be in control of their lives, control of their future, their destiny. They don't want to do the thinking. They don't want to do the responsibility. They don't want to do the adulting. They want someone else to do the thinking, the leading. This is why they want guys who are tall and smart and financially successful, because they want the guy to do 99 or 90% of everything in the relationship. Why they just put in 10%. And we as men have no problem with that, because we as men can do that, because that's what we do. We control our lives. We control, the order of things, how things is done. We solve problems. So let's solve the relationship problem by being in charge, by being leaders, by being responsible for relationships. I shouldn't be seeing guys online complaining and crying that the relationships failed and try to blame it on the chick. It's like, no, it's your fault. You weren't man enough for the relationship. You weren't in control enough for the relationship. You let her control the relationship, and of course it failed. You weren't financially stable enough for a relationship. You offered a relationship on shaky grounds, and then the relationship fell apart. Of course it fell apart. You barely had money to take care of yourself, yet you thought you could take care of a woman. It's like you could barely take care of one person, but you thought you could take care of two people. It's like, no, you gotta get your money right. You gotta get your mind right. You gotta get your life right. All right? Plus, it's also stupid. You're very unhealthy and trying to get in a relationship with somebody, but most of your time is spent being unhealthy, right? Spent being sick, being lazy. You barely go out, barely do anything, but expect to be in a relationship. It's like, well, that's not a good idea for you to be 40%, and expect to be in a relationship. That's a bad idea. Until you're 100%, until you're fully healthy, fully capable of being able to lead and, do things, you shouldn't be in a relationship. Most of you guys are overweight. Most of you guys live in your mom's basement. Most of you guys lazy as fuck, yet you expect to have a girlfriend or wife, but you don't do shit. Most of you guys are very unhealthy, yet you think you deserve something. It's like, no, what you need to do is get your shit together. And once you're better, you're at 100% or 110%, then you can go out here and be wanting women. You could have more than one if you're that guy. But the thing is, on average, 99% of you guys aren't that guy. Y'all watch like red pill content and shit and think that makes you that guy. It's like, no, it doesn't. It makes you delusional. Red pill is supposed to let you know you ain't shit until you make yourself better. And once you make yourself better, then the world will see you being better and be like, yeah, you're that guy. You're the guy that deserves this and this, that, and the third, because you earned it. That's the thing about the term deserve. Deserve is something you earn. It's not something you're entitled to. It's not something that exists specifically for you just because you exist. No, it's because you earned it. You worked for it, you deserve it. Just like you work 2 weeks at a job, you deserve a paycheck at the end of the 2 weeks. That's what deserve means. Most people think they deserve things just because they exist. I deserve love. No, you gotta earn it. You don't deserve it, you gotta earn it. Some people say deserve as if it's supposed to magically happen. Just because they exist or they want it, they're supposed to have it. Like, no, you gotta earn it. You want it, earn it.